If you want to turn around your career and have the kind of career that you really want for yourself, then there is one thing that you need to do now. Hi guys, today I want to talk about why you need to have a strategy in place if you want to make a significant career change, and also how you can go about this. Let me know if you can identify with this situation. You've been working in your current job for a while and you feel bored. You kind of feel stuck. You feel that something has to change. You feel like you're just not in the right place. You're not really sure what to do next. You have a vague idea, and by vague I mean something like this. I think I want to do something related to photography. I really want to work in fashion, but I don't exactly know what I want to do. I really like to work with children. I'm really sick of working for this company, and I'd do anything if I could only work for myself. The bottom line is, if your goal is unclear, then it will be very difficult to achieve it, because the question is, what is it that you want to achieve? Let's take this for an example. You want to go on a vacation, but you haven't made up your mind where you want to go. So you just go to the airport and you haven't packed, you haven't thought about where you want to go. Do you want to go to a warm country, cold country, which country at all, what airline you want to take, and you just go. And you might just end up in a really nice country and have your dream vacation. But it might also go the other way. You might end up in a place where you really didn't want to be and that really doesn't suit your taste, and because of that you now need to rebook your whole trip so you can go to another destination. And at this point you would have wasted a lot of time and money going in circles. But it's okay, after all, it's just a vacation. It's only a couple of weeks or days of your life, right? But you don't want the same thing to happen to your career. And I'm not saying that you can't make any mistakes in your career, because everyone, almost everyone, will have made some kind of mistakes. And that is part of the journey to be enjoyed, right? But at least you want to be roughly going into the right direction. So if your goal or your vision is over here, you wouldn't want to go the opposite direction, right? You would not want to move away from it, at least. And that is why you need to have a strategy for your career, which means you need a plan of action for different time horizons, for the short term, the medium term, and the long term. To make it easier to understand, let's just take an example of someone who wants to have their own coffee shop. Let's just say this person's name is John. John is working at a 9-to-5 corporate job now, and his dream is that one day he can work for himself and have his own coffee shop. But right now he feels so stuck in his 9-to-5 job that he can't imagine how he could possibly ever leave that job and have his own coffee shop. In the long term, what he needs is a vision. Everyone who wants to change their career needs a vision, because a vision is something that gives you license to dream. A vision is something that is usually far off in the future. It is something abstract, it is not tangible, but it represents the ideal situation that you want to be in one day. So for example, in John's case, it might be that his vision would be that in 5 years he would have this coffee shop with an all industrial design and maybe 3 or 4 employees, and having this coffee located near to a beach, and having some free time on the side, which he can use to spend on his other hobbies. And that would be his ideal situation. He wants to have the kind of job where, although he needs to work very hard, he can afford to have some flexibility so he can spend more time with his family. So ask yourself right now, do you have a vision for your career? Do you know at all what you want to have in terms of career in the long term? It could be 5 years or 10 years. Your time horizon could be even longer. It could be 15 years or 20 years. The point is that a vision is something that is further in the future. It's something that keeps you motivated and gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. But in order for that vision to one day become reality, you also need to have a short-term plan, because anything that happens in the future will, among others, depend on your decisions and your actions that you do in the now, in the present. What you do today right this very moment, or after you watch this video, or in the next few days and next few weeks. And in the case of the coffee shop, that could mean to start learning how to properly make coffee, or how to become a barista, or in general researching what it takes to open a coffee shop. So in case you've already nailed your vision, think about your short-term plan. What is your plan? What are the concrete steps that you can take in the next few days, weeks, or even right now after you've watched these videos? Who knows, maybe after watching this video you're in such a good mood and you feel so motivated that you want to immediately do something for your dream. However, it is very, very easy to get lost in details, to get lost in all those small actions that you do, that you lose track of the bigger picture. And that is why you need to have a plan for the medium term. Having a plan for the medium term means that you build in milestones between that vision that might be 5 years or 10 years in the future and your short-term actions, which is now in the next few days. So you can plant these milestones, for example, at year 1, year 2, all the way up to year 10. Or you can also make it twice a year or quarterly. So in John's case, who wants to open a coffee shop in year 5, that could mean that his milestone in year 1 would simply be to accumulate an emergency fund and also to get rid of his debt. In year 2, his milestone could be to join a barista workshop or learn how to become a barista, or perhaps even get some experience working in a cafe so he knows how it would be like to work in a cafe. In year 3, his milestone could be that while he's working at his 9-to-5 job, in parallel he has an online shop selling coffee making related equipment, because by doing that he kind of gets into the business. At least, even though it's remote, he has an idea of what kind of tools and equipments are involved in opening a coffee shop. And in addition to that, he would already start to earn some money in the field that is closely related to his passion. Another milestone could also be that by year 3 he would have saved up, let's say, $50,000 as his own capital, which he will invest into the coffee shop. And his milestones in year 4 could include starting to talk to investors, scouting for possible locations, thinking about what kind of interior design he would like to have for his coffee, or what kind of coffee he would like to offer to his customers. And in year 5 he would finally be ready to open his own coffee shop. And of course, talking about the length of time for the vision being 5 years, it doesn't have to be 5 years. You can define it as 10 years or 15 years, and the same goes for the short term. The idea is just that you have clarity on these different time horizons and how you can use the vision, the medium-term plan, and the short-term action plan to make them work together to achieve your career goals. It's also very important to have this kind of strategy to keep you motivated and to help you get back up from failure. Because if you have a vision and you fail somewhere along the way, the vision will keep reminding you of the reason why you are doing this, why you are going through all of this effort and pain and disappointment, because you have a vision, you have this dream that you someday want to achieve. You have something worthwhile fighting for. And at the same time, you need the short-term action plan, because you have these action items that you can work on immediately in the now and for which you can see immediate results. And the immediate result is not the opening of the coffee shop, but the immediate result would, for example, be trying to make a latte. You would define it at that level. And maybe within a week, you would have already learned how to make the perfect latte. And then you can check that off your list as something concrete that you have achieved in the short term that will, in the long term, lead to you getting to your goal. I really hope this was useful to you. Please let me know in the comments what your vision for your career is, and if this kind of thinking, this strategy, and having these 3 different time horizons have helped you in any way or changed the way you think about your career. By the way, guys, I've started some new YouTube channels, and one of them is called Living in Canada. So for any one of you watching who are not in Canada but are interested to come and live in Canada to work or study, you might be interested to check out the link that I will put in the descriptions below. I thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.